to attend the planning commission's September 11th regular meeting. It's a regular meeting at 6 o'clock. Is there support for that? Support. Okay, motion's been made and supported. Further discussion? We'll do roll call. Bernwald?
Yes.
Clark Hubbard, yes. Imhoff?
Yes.
Rushmore?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Excuse me, may I interrupt? Okay, one quick suggestion.
Very quickly, yes.
There's nothing in the statute that requires a developer to provide copies of the actual wind leases or solar leases. And there's nothing that requires them to provide proof that the landowner actually has approved the site locations. I would suggest that your ordinance, whatever you do with your ordinance, make sure they're required to provide those copies of the actual leases. But more importantly, all the Apex leases give the landowners the right to approve the site plan and the locations of all the wind turbines. And I think you ought to make sure that you demand that they provide actual proof that the landowner has provided that for every site. Because they may not bother to have gotten that.
Thank you. All right, so we're gonna move on then to our next item of business, which is Clark Newell is here. He is here to talk about some trees behind the community center. And this is a property that you are looking to buy?
No, I've already bought it.
You've already bought it, okay,
Yeah.
closed on it. So I'll let you kind of explain kind of what you're.
Clark Newell, Cato Township. I own some property right next to the Township's property. And according to the lines with the county, the trees are on this property, and the roots are impeding the basement, and the trees are rubbing on the roof. And the tree's been trimmed back before, and many times you can see it in the trees, but also the roots are coming up. So to protect that basement, I'm gonna dig those roots away from the basement. And the issue with that is when you start messing with roots, you can, in a high windstorm, they could tip over too. So I wanted to make sure the board was aware of that. And then also that, with them being on, what it looks like on your property, that you would, take care of them.
So just to be clear, there's no survey on the property?
No, I tried to get one done, they hadn't got it done yet. I was hoping it was gonna be done by today. The county lines, and they can be off a little bit, but the county lines show that the trees are on this property. But I got with Global Land Solution, they were supposed to, but they hadn't got it done yet.
So you are going to have that survey?
Yeah, they were supposed to find the markers on this side.
And we're assuming that the roots are touching?
Well, even if they're not touching, they're huge, and you can see them on top of the ground within a foot or two. So they didn't just disappear right there, but if they're not already pushing on the basement, they will be, and I'm not gonna wait until they crack the basement to say, oh, they're there now, I'm gonna start digging them. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna dig them away from the basement, because I've had many basements before, and I don't know why roots go to them, but they do.
And now, there's that big pine, and both, just to be clear, these are healthy trees, is what
They're
I've
healthy,
been told.
yeah.
But the one closest to the lake, that one, the roots, are you talking?
I'm talking both huge pine trees.
You're saying that both those roots you feel are touching?
And there's a maple tree in there that has a huge root going to it too. Actually, all of them need to come out of there. And
Okay. I think the board is, we're not attached to the trees. It's kind of-
I would love to leave them, but they're gonna cost a lot of money and damage. And you can see they're already rubbing on the roof. And
So your plan, you bought the property, your plan is to get a survey, and then you're gonna dig down in there, and how far of the roots are you? Once you have the survey, are you gonna cut?
Well, I'm hoping that the township is gonna take care of the trees, but if they don't, I have to, along that basement, dig those up just so they don't damage the basement.
Okay. I guess without having a survey, kind of feels like we need to first have a survey to know. I kind of feel like it's all kind of jumbled in there. Your air conditioning units right there, is that over the line? I don't know.
Right.
It's very unclear, and it's kind of almost on an angle, and it goes to the
Yeah.
water, and I think you say survey is.
Yeah, of course, you know, typically in these kinds of situations, there's a law that generally, townships are immune from these sort of situations. So I wouldn't, from a liability standpoint, be concerned on the township's part, but, obviously a survey would be appropriate, and, you know, we'd have to, determine from a, you know, what exactly the situation is in terms of whether there are roots on his property, if it's the tree, you know, what would happen in the event that the roots were, cut to the point that the tree would fall over, and what kind of damage that would cause, so, I would need more information about where the trees are located and what exactly is the concern, currently with the roots and where they're located, cause it sounds like it's not currently touching in any way.
Well-
You're concerned
We don't
that
know.
it might.
We don't know.
They're right up to it, and I've had, tree experts say that it's gonna be big trouble soon. And it's already been rubbing on the roof several times, and you can look at the pictures if you wanna hand them
Well-
around.
Well, that, if it's rubbing on the roof, then
They-
where a tree overhangs is a responsibility of the owner over which it overhangs. So if it's over your property, then the limbs on that side you can trim, even if the tree itself is on the township's property.
And then the roots that are on my side, I can go ahead and get rid of too.
I can't give you legal
Well,
advice,
well,
sorry.
I guess I will counter that a little bit, cause when I was out there with a couple of tree contractors, and they said there's really no way you can tell with the roots, and they did say that pine, white pine especially, they kinda stay closer to the surface,
Yeah.
going way deep. Yeah, I guess if you were to cut those roots, you know, we talked about that other tree being unsafe, you know, in the township
Yeah,
act
yeah.
very quickly, take it back
Yeah.
down, but if you cut the roots and the tree, does that tree become unsafe, I guess?
Right, well, I just wanna make sure that's why I'm here, to make sure we do what we're supposed to do, and
Well, I guess if you're saying we're immune, I guess I.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't give him legal advice as to whether or
Yeah,
not
yeah,
he can or should cut the roots. I'm talking about the limbs overhanging his
Yeah.
property. That
Mhm.
typically, when a limb overhangs, regardless of where the, tree is affixed to the property, is the responsibility of the owner on whose property the limbs are overhanging. Roots underneath, I'm not sure, because that obviously has more impact on the stability and, what's the word? I don't know, it starts with a V and I can't think of it, but
Viability.
obviously, the health of the tree,
The viability of the tree.
viability.
Well, yeah, or I mean, it just, you know, the
Sure.
structure of it falling over, you know,
Yep.
so I guess, I hesitate to say, you know, the roots, but, so you're saying you.
I would get a survey to first of all, figure out whose property the tree itself is on.
Mhm.
And it sounds like there needs to be further information regarding the risks associated, whatever these roots are may pose. But anything overhanging.
Yeah.
That you can trim, I mean.
okay.
Clark, your desire is to leave the tree though? You don't
No,
want to take
what-
the trees out, would you rather have the trees?
I'd rather have them out, because there's huge roots right on top of the ground within a few feet of the basement.
Right,
And, that root doesn't stop right there. It is underground at that point, so, you know, there's no doubt, and you know, if you wanna take a peek at the pictures, but,
I mean, this doesn't really show how close.
no, I should've took one farther back, but that's within like 3-4 foot of the basement. And those are like 6-inch roots, and I would love to leave them. I plant a lot of trees around this area, but with them being so close to the house and so many roots so close to the basement, I don't have a choice, yeah.
Alright, well, I guess, you've already ordered a survey and I guess
Yeah,
we'll see
I
what
appreciate
that-
your time.
Yep.
And thank you.
Okay,
Do you guys want me to start, or
you
save you some money?
yeah, I guess I don't think we have anything else really.
Well, I will, September 11th, and do you want me to work directly with Phil then, or have you, or we can coordinate?
Sure, or if you wanna copy me, that's fine too,
Okay.
just keep me, but Phil, I guess,
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay,
Yeah, we-
same contact information?
Yep.
Okay, sounds good.
alright, thank you for being here.
Perfect, absolutely.
Thank you.
income of $32,396.59, expenses $57,320.59, with an ending balance of $412,784.44. Fire district was $58,955.28, with an income of $2.42, ending balance of $58,957.70. Honeymoon Heights, beginning balance $11,657.68, income of 24 cents, ending balance $11,657.92. We have two CDs, beginning and ending balance, both the same, $114,076.57, and that is combined. We did start collecting taxes last month. We had, income of $270,190.86. We've expensed back $220,067.63 to the schools and the county, leaves us with an ending balance of $54,123.23. And that is, everything is balanced as of the end of the month. I balance everything by the bank statements last as of 7/31.
Yeah, I just wanna commend you on the tax account, reporting, because we haven't had that in the past. And so we can see that that's, just for the board, you know, that's in theory a zero balance account. We take money in, we disperse it out. So the reason we have a balance at the end of July is that's timing related. That'll be dispersed out, and then there's a portion of that that's the townships will be transferred to the township for that admin fee.
Correct.
In the school.
In the
fee
school,
that we,
right, the
for
$2
collecting
and
taxes.
49 cents per
So, but no, that's really good reporting, for the board to see. And for summer, we're only dispersing to the Montcalm County Treasurer or the county's operating millage and the Lakeview School District. Those are the taxes.
Correct.
That are on there. So,
Right.
any other questions for Dutch on this? Is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
I make a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Is there support? Motion has been made and supported to approve the treasurer's report. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passed. Quick note in the treasurer's realm, so, the last time, the credit card we had approved to have one account with a maximum of $2,500, but two cards can be issued under that account, with each one has a $500 transaction limit. Are we still in
Yes,
process on that?
Yes, that's all done. I got the second card this Friday, so that's all taken care of.
So clerk and treasurer have one, we have our
Yes.
credit card policy of how we're gonna have controls and reviewing the statement, okay. Bank signatories, so we're gonna kind of do a little about face here of what we did, because, since our last meeting, we had voted to, take off, former deputy clerk Miranda Reynolds, who was Todd's deputy, because she was no longer deputy. Well, since then, Ginger has hired, Miranda back as deputy clerk, which we're happy to have her back. But now we need to add her back to the bank account. So, I will make a motion that we add Miranda Reynolds as a signatory on the checking accounts. Is that how I wanna make that, or do I wanna say it?
Yes.
Okay,
And I will second that, and then I just think maybe we need to have a policy of who is signatory on these accounts, so that we don't, every time somebody changes a position, it doesn't take a month and a half to actually get something
so wait for the board
done.
minutes.
Yeah, we just get
So if we come up,
we'll look at that,
Yeah.
next month,
it's a good idea. So,
for the future.
so you seconded it,
Yes.
Dutch, I made the motion, you seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion passes. Just a couple FYI things Dutch and I have been working on, so all of our tax, software is through BSNA for, tax collecting and assessing. We have to contract with this other company that's, I don't know, not sure if they're affiliated with them or not, but it's called BC3, and they house our data, backup and security, and they are closing this location that we use. And, we're trying to get in touch with them of what the alternative is, you know, will we just move to a different location? So just wanted to fill the board in on that. We have a 1-year contract with them that's up in November, so we're working to see what their solution is, to get a hold of them. Anything else, Dutch, from a treasury standpoint?
No, I did, reach back out to, Lakeview Sports about their personal property taxes, because we sent them a letter. I did send them another note have had some communication from them, so that's always good.
Yep, just one delinquent
Yes.
tax parcel, okay. And we have not heard anything back from Tim at the credit union as far as, the NCUA insurance limits or what they are offering, so we're still kinda, we haven't transferred the general fund. Fire and Honeymoon Heights have been transferred to the community first, but not the general.
General fund still at mercantile.
Yep. Brings us into clerk's report. So the first item would be approval of the August bills list. And we have this format, last month we have our new format right out of QuickBooks, which gives us check numbers and dates and detailed vendor and memo listings. I'd like to maybe do similar to what other townships are doing, as far as normally somebody sits up here and reads every line item of this. I guess I would like, if the board is open to it, to go more towards an approving our total of the report. And if the public would want copies, we can give copies. I do have a couple copies here, just in case anybody wanted them, but that's, just holds up our meetings. And I think we're kind of outside the norm of doing that. Would everybody be kind of
I think it's a great idea.
open to that? Okay. So everyone had a chance to look over the bills. One thing would be, I guess maybe next time we can talk to Blaine about maybe sorting this by check number, so that we can, I think we have all of the check number details on Dutch's that is supported through the end of July, but this obviously has some August too. So we'll work with Blaine on that, but, just a couple items I wanted to know, for the board. So we did have our second application of brine for $12,842.03. And then we also had an invoice from the road commission for the Youngman Road work here just north of 46 was $6,349.69. So, but the grand total of our bills this month is $41,320.26, and that includes, all of our payroll and routine recurring bills and those couple, road commission items. So, yeah, any questions or comments?
Yeah, there was one, $50 check. If you're looking down at the numbers, down the middle was 15222.
Yep.
That was voided out after we did the reconciliation and everything. The check was never sent out, but, so you would need to subtract $50.
Okay.
So that comes up to 41,370.26.
270.
Is that, wait a minute, hold on. I have a total of 41,000.
Yes, 270.
26, 270, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, 270.
26.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion to approve the August 12th bills listing in the amount of $41,270.26. Is there support on that?
Support.
Motion's been made and supported. Further discussion? We'll do roll call. Myers?
Yes.
Rushmore?
Yes.
Imhoff?
Yes.
Clark Hubbard, yes. Bernwald?
Yes.
Passes. A couple items in the bills realm, so, we've determined we need to contact Four Seasons Exterminating. We have some little critters that have been showing up here and there, so just wanted to let the board know that we're gonna contact them and have them take a look. And, it sounds like they may even have some maintenance plans out there. We can just see what the options are if they wanna just treat once. We also would like to get somebody in here to inspect the HVAC system, because we're not sure on the last time it's been serviced or even when it first went in. So, and I think we also talked about maybe having someone look at the electrical, circuits and see about possibly upgrading that. So, we'll be working on that, maybe bring the board. Sometimes they do charge to inspect, so it could, I doubt it would, be more than a couple $100 if that, but maybe we'll see if they'll cut us
Just,
a break.
just the HVAC stuff, but the electrical, they did not say anything about charging to come and talk, so.
It's just for heating and cooling.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Ginger, sounds like we need a new elections laptop for your,
Yes.
program that she needs to be able to run on election day. We have a very outdated laptop that is not up to date with the operating system,
pricing.
Okay, so Eric at Maybe
Eric was gonna
Technology.
do that, and then I was gonna even look at Best Buy or something like that, because also it will be used for pretty much just the elections. So it just will be pretty basic.
And the other thing is, we have a lot of old, elections, documents and just, we have a lot of documents that need to be destroyed. And we can either call a company in and have them take it away, or we could look into investing into our own shredding machine. And Ginger is investigating some options on that, so we really need to keep up on the records management, so. And then the only other thing I had, for possibly opening an Amazon business account, it sounds like.
Yes.
And that would be something we'd want the board's approval on, and I'm not sure if it would have to be the treasurer who would open a charge account like that. We might have to look into that, but would the board be, sounds like you get better
It
deals.
won't really be a charge account. It'll just be account and then use our credit cards on it.
Okay,
So it's not like a charge account.
Right.
Because I had used mine with Cato's credit card. But then if I wanna return something, they don't return it to you, they just, credit it to your account, and it's confusing, like if you get coupons or whatever, do they go to my account, or it's really difficult to keep track.
Right, they'd be under Cato Township, and then we designate who can use it
Yeah.
for what you need. And then they would have the card on file, so you just go in there and get what you need. And I don't know with Prime, but you can get cash back too, you know, it's
Yes, you can
right
get,
to
and they're,
earn money
and if
for
you-
your next item, which is great, so.
Exactly, and if you do a business account, there's some other perks that go along with that, and, you don't need to have the prime account, the business account.
and we get our sales tax
And you get your
exemption.
tax, yes, tax, that's a biggie
I
too.
have not opened a business account with Amazon, so you sound more familiar with it.
I've looked at it a little bit,
I guess I'll go ahead and make a motion that we authorize the clerk to set up Amazon business account.
Second that.
Motion's been made and supported. Further discussion, I guess maybe we can look into a policy for the next meeting or something, just kind of like we did with the credit card, just so we're not just opening an account without controls. But let's go ahead and get it authorized. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Couple other quick notes, I will be looking into purchasing, we had put this in our budget, board of review handbooks, for our board of review members. They met in July and everybody was on board with, they would like to have, those handbooks from the MTA, and we had budgeted for those, so I'll be bringing that to the board in the future. And then, also in the IT realm, we've, Ginger and Dutch met with Biggie Technologies to kind of talk about, Google user licenses and, the cloud and backup and all that, and, he did give us a quote for what, for 3 Google business user licenses, $18 each, but I think that's gonna be probably a further discussion of the realm of IT within the township, because it's really, we need to make sure that we think this out. And I did get, K Squared, IT services, which is actually Marcy's son and another guy, started a business. They reached out to me, wanted to know if they could just talk to me about the township's IT and what our needs might be, and I said we're not ready for a proposal or anything like that, but, they did send me some information on their services, so I'm gonna get that to Dutch and Ginger, and kind of let you guys mull over, and kind of just think about what we need, so. And then, quick update on the trail, so we have our 50,000 that's earmarked, that's in our accounts, for the trail. They were able, I got an update from, village manager Darren Dode, Village of Lakeview, here a few weeks ago. They were able to get what they needed, from the railroad, CSX Railroad, to basically, I guess, connect the trail, yeah. So now that they have that, they're gonna work on the easements with the other property owners and getting legal descriptions, surveys, and all that done. In the meantime, the engineer has been working directly with the road commission on what they want for drawings, for MDOT on the Bale Road part of the project, cause there's gonna be a piece that runs along Bale Road. Still working on lining up the excavator and how, I guess any contractor work. So at the moment, we don't have any piece to pay, I guess, there's nothing to pay, but we'll just kinda.
They are moving forward.
They are moving forward with it, on the trail. And our workers' comp audit was completed, we're all set there. And that brings us into the election update, and we'll let Ginger give that, but I first off wanna congratulate her, and the team. Dutch was the chairperson of the election inspectors, and wanna thank all of the inspectors. Everybody did a fantastic job, and, we have a really nice ballot box out front and a nicely renovated bulletin board that I wanna thank Matt Hubbard for his labor on that, donated labor. And otherwise I'll let Ginger kinda just give it
And
up.
along those lines, also for getting our vote here sign put together at the last minute. And he put some solar lights up on the roof because the lights that we had up there, didn't work. We put new bulbs in them, but they didn't work, and so rather than try to figure out if it's wiring or whatever, we just put some solar lights up there, so there's lights on the two new flags that are up there,
Yeah.
the Michigan one and,
Look very nice.
and Matt did that for us as well.
Good work, man.
These are,
Handyman.
our handyman, those two guys.
Cheap.
Hey,
Free.
Volunteer.
I do have a question or a comment. When I was putting the solar lights on, you kind of, I don't know if you remember, but the roofing
yes.
the roofing work needs to be addressed because there is spots along the whole edge that are loose. So, and I'm not understanding. I think it was a year or two ago. So that maybe we look into having them come back.
We'll
Yeah,
definitely.
I forgot about that.
Sure.
And as far as the election, wow. It was, I just can't say enough about the workers. They did everything. I had to stay in my office because I was on the ballot, but I was very busy in there anyway, and they're all out here and they just knew what to do and they did what they were supposed to do, and at the very end of the night, when we closed the polls, I was able to come out here more then, but even then, everybody's doing their thing, and I felt like I wasn't doing enough. And then they get all their everything packet together, and they give it to me, and they send me to the finish line, and I didn't even do anything hardly. That's sort of how I felt. So I was the one that left, and then they were left here to clean everything up, because I had to get over to Stanton to turn everything in. So I'm just so thankful for the workers that we had. That was just, and I've also heard from Kristen Millard and other townships that, oh yeah, Cato, they've got really good workers there. So it was great, and I'm really looking forward to, I know this is weird, but November. Yeah, I am. We've got another month before we start sending out applications for ballots and do this all over again, but, I learned an awful lot from everybody.
We'll have to have another election commission meeting, I think, to rehire, I think you gotta vote
Right,
to hire
yep.
again and do another public accuracy, so
Yeah,
we'll make
we'll
sure
have
we
to
get
do
all
all of
that.
that, yeah. But, we had 8 workers, and 5 of the 8 attended training to get certified, or not 5 of that 8, because Brandy was also one that attended the training and got certified, but she wasn't one of the workers. And,
The others were still able to carry over previous.
right, because
trainings.
the certification will last for 2 years, and, I was not surprised, but the amount of responsibility, most people don't understand the responsibility put on those workers to sign their names to documents and to open up those ballots and, they just did an awesome job. But we ended up with 533 votes total. We had 8 early voters that went to, Macomb there and voted. And we had 249 absentee ballots and 276 in-person votes. We had almost as many absentee ballots as we did in-person votes, which was,
Quick note on those, so we ended up, the county clerk billed us $727,
Yes.
which was well under what we, for them to send out the absentee.
and the $727 was, included like the postage, the cost that we would have
Would've had
incurred
anyway,
anyways, and for the ballots and everything that they spent.
So it came in well under.
Yeah, it came in well underneath that, so that was great, and I actually got an email from Kristen today that Jamie and I were, it's not complete, the Board of Canvassers aren't completely done yet, but we both received more than enough, votes to get on the ballot.
To be printed.
To be printed on the ballot, our names will be there, so,
Great.
yes, that will be great. And, did you wanna say anything about the upcoming MTA meeting?
I have that, the one we're hosting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that on
Okay.
the list, so.
All right, then, if anybody has any questions, I don't really have much
The
more.
only thing I wanted to add is, we need to add our election pay into our post-audit list, so that it can be paid before our next board meeting, cause it's all on schedule, and then also, our election workers have, historically been paid, they're the only hourly rate workers that we have, and when they go to training, they get their hourly rate for those hours versus like a stipend. So I'm gonna make a motion that we add, election pay to our post-audit list,